Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to an entrepreneur, an Inglewood-based entrepreneur, a friend of the family. She is the owner and proprietor of SBS Beauty Parlor. She's the one and only Bernadette Prado. Bernadette, what's going on?
Hi, thank you, Adam, so much for this opportunity. I want to give a special shout outs to our beauty girls and all of the supporters who support SBS Beauty Parlor. We are so excited to be here.
Well, definitely excited to have you, and this is a fun one because I'm totally glib on the all things beauty. I know it sounds weird, right? Like this face and beauty. Those two things don't usually go together, but I guess for the sake of today, we're gonna go there.
But you know what? There's a lot of beauty girls out there who say the same thing, so it's not just but when they come to SBS Beauty Parlor, their whole perspective is changed.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But I mean, we're definitely going to get into everything that SBS is. Yes. But I mean, I think it's important to kind of go back a little bit. If we jump into the DeLorean a little bit, and how did not just SBS come to be, but you as a person? Now, I mean, where did you grow up, essentially?
So I was born in Los Angeles, California, downtown LA. And I'm raised in Englewood, California. So I am in Englewood. I love my city. And so, yeah, this is where we reside. Our beauty parlor is actually in Englewood, California as well. Again, I love my city. I was born and raised in Englewood, California. Woo, woo.
No, absolutely. Now, I mean, I guess you could say that beauty to some doesn't come naturally, right? So, I mean, where does this come from? Was your parents kind of involved in all the things, self-care and kind of keeping themselves up? I mean, is it something that is genetic? Like, is something, from your ethnic background? You mentioned that you're bilingual. So, I mean, kind of give us some light to that.
Okay, so I know you guys probably want me to say yes, it's been here all my life with beauty. But honestly, it has not. I believe it's something that I developed and I've grown in. I've always known that I had an anointing, or I was meant to be in leadership roles. But with SBS Beauty Parlor, it gives me the platform to expand it and explore and share. And so since I was young and since I was a little girl, things always came to me naturally. And so although beauty was there, with doing hair and makeup, because those things I just picked up easily, it wasn't something that I was immersed in. And so now I'm fully immersed in it. And so I think that is what makes my testimony great, because when I speak to our beauty girls, there are beauty girls who are just now getting into beauty, and I can relate to them. I can, also tell them and share with them that, hey, I'm getting into this as well, and so that's what allows them to trust the brand and to trust SBS Beauty. It's absolutely amazing.
Now, one thing that I want to ask, because I mean, growing up kind of bilingual and of different, I too, much like my sister, obviously we come from the same parents, so we grew up biracial. Our dad, American descendant of slaves. It was his birthday yesterday, so happy heavenly birthday to my
Okay.
dad. But I mean, was that also? Did you kind of borrow some of that from? Oh, well, first and foremost, like what were the two ethnicities that played a part in your upbringing?
My mom is black and my dad is Salvadorian, and both are definitely unique cultures. And growing up, honestly, it was a struggle. It was a struggle with learning like your identity. It was a struggle with trying to figure out, are you black? Are you Hispanic? Are you like what are the dynamics? But as you grow, you learn to discover yourself. You learn to trust yourself more, and so both cultures are absolutely beautiful. There's so many Hispanics of beauty. There's so much beauty in people who are black. So just having the two emerge, it's one hell of a mix. And so yeah, I did pick up traits from my Latino side, and I did pick up traits from my black side, and so having the two makes it all more fun, when it comes to talking about beauty, because I can so relate to more than just one culture, so again, it's an amazing opportunity. Um,
No, 1,000%. And it's funny because it can be a delicate balance. I mean, I know myself, and again, I'm a guy, right? So I don't have it in some respects. I have it in some circles as a guy to be biracial. You're not, in my case, not Fijian enough or
yeah.
Islander enough in this deal,
Oh
or
yeah.
not American descendant of slaves, as I like to call it, or ADOS, in this respect. But I mean, to be a female, it's a completely different dynamic, right? But one of the things that you actually had to kind of play off of is, I mean, you grew up with a sister that you guys, got to play off of each other. And again, like I said, in terms of what like American descendant of slaves or black, kind of orientation reveres as beauty versus what a Hispanic, a Latino, culture reveres as beauty. You kind of have to play in line, but then you have the sister where you guys can kind of hunker down and kind of like bring out the beauty in each other.
Oh yes, absolutely. I have two beautiful sisters. Actually, my whole entire family is beautiful. Just to be honest, my going from my parents to my sisters to my brother. You should see my brother. Like, we're a spitting image of each other. I mean, same hair, everything. So um, we definitely play off of each other, to where we support one another. And it was actually great to have that support system growing up, because, again, like you said, there is a different experience with being biracial. And so having that support system from my siblings made it all the better to be able to experience life.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Now, also one of the things, I mean, much like myself, or actually, I wasn't always educated in like Inglewood schooling. I didn't come here until I think I was in fifth grade, right? And I attended Oak Street, and then and anybody that knows the lay of the land, you kind of know
Yeah.
where it's at. But I mean, you essentially attended Englewood Unified School District schools your entire upbringing up until you went to college. How was that experience?
Oh, yeah. So I am a product of the IUSD school district. I attended Highland, I attended Crozier, I attended Morningside High School. I had many accomplishments at Morningside High. I was homecoming queen for several years, homecoming princess for several years, and I graduated from Morningside High School, which is a great opportunity. And then I went to college at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And school has been a great experience to be able to come from Inglewood and to be able to have a bachelor's degree. Not only a bachelor's degree, but just graduating high school is a blessing. You know, it's definitely an accomplishment.
No, absolutely, and it's weird because in certain circles that I'm in, and obviously, like pre-COVID, where we got to be covering fights, right? Covering fights, pro wrestling, and what have you. Like I was able to interact with people, right? And when I would mention I grew up in England for the most part, and my mom worked at City Hall and what have you. Like, and they would always go, England always up to no good. And you would hear,
Right.
and I'm pretty, I don't want to say straight laced, but you would hear it like an audible, like
Yeah.
whatever. I did because like I hate that euphemism. Inglewood always up to no good because like you went to Morningside High, and obviously if you don't have to look through the tea leaves too deep to look at like, oh man, some bad stuff happened at Morningside. Same thing with me. I went to Inglewood High. Don't have to look very far. There was always like race
Right.
riots and everything like that. So, but out of that, right, we've got athletes that came out of both Inglewood and
Yeah.
Morningside. We have doctors, lawyers, like I mean entrepreneurs such as yourself. Like, so to me, when people are like Inglewood always up to no good, I'm all like, screw you, buddy, because like we are just as well as I mean Beverly Hills. I mean, I remember when Inglewood High used to still play Beverly Hills High in basketball, and the
Uh-huh.
same thing, and the worst fears that most people would think about, um, in terms of what would happen, at a Inglewood High School basketball game. Well, guess what? Three times as many things happen in the Beverly Hills locker room. But again, some people's parents had hush money, so if somebody was, before the game, it got under the rug swept is what I'm saying. So I mean, again, somebody who has been raised through, I mean, born and raised in Inglewood, not just by identity but also through the schooling system, and reaching to the collegiate level of Dominguez Hills. And especially setting up, I mean, you literally put your flag in the sand and said, if I'm going to have a business, I'm going to do that right here in my community.
Oh
So
yes.
how much of that is in your identity?
Oh yes, everything. 100%, and this is why I've decided to start my business here in Inglewood, California, because I want to inspire the community to understand and see that model of representation to where you can be successful. It's so important because there's a lot of things that we do see that are not healthy. And so being able to commit to being here in Inglewood to display, to change the narrative, to show a different narrative, um, which is actually reality, it's so important for our business and it's so important to me. And so I stand on Inglewood. I love Inglewood. And we are so excited to move forward to expressing and expanding Inglewood to different parts of the country and the city. And it's so important that our Inglewood community see these examples. And all of my beauty girls and my supporters, they stand behind us as well. And so they willingly support because they understand just that. Hey, this is a woman who's from Inglewood and she has a business and she's educated. And so they're excited to participate and to help push the brand to where it needs to be because they want the story to be told to many other people. So that way, when they hear, oh, Inglewood's up to no good, it's like, wait a minute, that's not the only story. That's not the only phrase that, that's coming out of Inglewood. So
No, absolutely, and that's the thing, and when I kind of knew early on that you would have sort of a scarlet letter if you walked into an interview or what have you, and
oh
there's
yes,
there's preconceived notions of
oh
who you
yes.
were based on where you were from, right? And I always, my one of the things that my dad taught me is like, you want to go into whatever interview or whatever you're doing, right, with more information than the person that is interviewing you. Like you want to, like, I mean, set right and set phasers to stun, and just like leave them stunned walking out of the room. And you're in. Not only do you create an opportunity for yourself, but also, yeah, imagine, right? Inglewood, right? And then, but that's the bee's knees to, at the time, the late 90s, early 2000s, it's the bee's knees to East LA. It's the bee's knees to Watts and Compton and Linwood and all of these other places that are socioeconomically diverse. And all of these places now in 2021 are on the upswing. But again, it wasn't that way, So for me, I was just like, I'm gonna set up, like you basically, knock them dead, right? And if I do
Oh
that,
yeah.
well, guess what? The next guy or girl that is coming from Watts, coming from Compton, and what have you, they're not going to look at them the way that they thought they were going to look at them because they were like, hey, that guy from Inglewood, you know what? That's good. We're going to give him the job.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's so important to SBS Beauty Parlor, for us to have items of quality, products of quality. And so, starting with just our packaging, it's so important because when you do order and it says Inglewood, California, we are at that quality level. And that's what we want, the world to see and experience. We don't want you to experience, your preconceived, thoughts of what you think Inglewood is and what you think you're going to receive in the mail. No, all of our products are top quality products. And even though I am from Inglewood, I have experienced quality things, growing up. My parents made sure that I had the best of everything, and even though we weren't rich or had the money to have it, it was of quality, and that's exactly what I want to give and share to the world. And that's what SBS Beauty Parlor we bring. And so it does change the narrative when you get a package, when you get a wrapping, when you get our products, when you receive our products, and you're like, wow, and we've had that experience where people, our clientele or some people would say, wow, this is nice, and it's because of the narrative of Inglewood. So it's a great opportunity to be able to change that narrative with our products and just being who we are.
No, absolutely. And I love this. And person that I know and love, my sister says, Inglewood, City of Champions. Absolutely.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. Yes. There is absolute 100% pride in me being from Inglewood, because it's like what they say, it's not where you're from, it's where you're going, and I believe, everyone has a story, and Inglewood is a beautiful city, you know. We have so many opportunities here in Inglewood. All of my friends that I know are from Inglewood, and I love them. They're great people. And so Inglewood is very special, and we are even. It's even better to have our parlor located in Inglewood. And we are directly, across from where they're building the Ram Stadium and the Forum. So we're right in the husp of where the landmarks are. So it's an amazing it's an amazing opportunity.
No, absolutely. Now, going to Dominguez Hills, right? In terms of like, obviously you want to achieve a precedence of scholastic, proficiency. But did you know that you wanted to, whether it be your own boss, so to speak, and I'm not so to speak. It's absolutely it. Be your own boss. And did you know then that beauty might be the way that it might happen?
Absolutely not. And I think that is what's great about this journey. I did not. To be very honest with you, I had no plans on going to college, but I thank God for my parents and my family. They pushed me to go to college. And my sister, my oldest sister, she actually was the first to graduate college. And me being the second oldest, it's like, hey, I have no choice because I have two other, after me, my sister and my brother. And so I'm like, wait a minute, this girl done set the bar, you know? And so I'm like, what kind of sister would I be to not give that education or experience, pass it along to the other siblings, that are looking up towards me? So that's exactly what happened. So I went to college, and you know what? I loved it. I love college. And so, no, that's not where beauty started, but I've always been into, doing hair, making sure I'm presentable. I've always been into like doing little things, but it did not fully emerge then.
Wow, but I mean, and it's funny because we're talking so extensively about Inglewood and our experiences through Inglewood. I remember, I think it was my freshman year at Inglewood High School where I there was, they would have rallies and what have you, right? And there was this guy who was like a self-made millionaire. He flew jets and had his own kind of like like a air trans, like transportation company. Basically, he owned helicopters and planes, and he would
Nice.
shuttle luminaries, from point A to point B, and he became a millionaire doing that and owning every bit of it. And I remember something he said in his presentation in his this assembly, right? And obviously with assemblies, especially in Englewood during that time, you've got your knuckleheads, and it's not just the knuckleheads. There's like pockets of them, like there's 12 here, 12 whatever, out of like maybe 1,500 in the auditorium that day. But he said something that literally like set silence to the room. He basically had a backpack, right? And he had, kind of objects that signified certain places of his life, his
Mhm.
education, his the social skills, like all of this, and he's putting it in his backpack, right? And then essentially, he kind of gets into this mythical plane to get into to kind of basically rocket to a new atmosphere, right? And that stuck with me because like everything that you do in life, whether you know it or not,
Oh yes.
basically is the thing that could catapult you and that you might draw upon, when in times where you might not need, I mean, where you might not know that you needed it. And it's funny,
Oh,
that might be the very thing that essentially sets you apart from the rest of the pack.
absolutely. And that's what I believe my journey is. I believe that, the little clues and the little tools that were put in place all of those years definitely adds to the moment now. And so it's an amazing experience and it's an amazing journey to be here because, again, when I do look back over my life, I can see where I was just naturally gifted in certain areas as far as like makeup or hair. And so it's just coming into to the fullness, now with having SBS Beauty Parlor. And so that is the experience that I love about it is because I get to identify with other you know, artists and the community, because they're going through the same thing too. You know, there's a lot of us out here who are very talented, and you know, we are just now tapping into what has always been here. And so I think that is the best, powerful experience that I can relate to multiple people, you know, and I think I just think it's amazing to be able to connect to people and to let them know, like, hey, me too. Like, you see me here, but hey, you know, I'm new, you know, at certain things just as well as you are, and you can absolutely do it.
No, absolutely. Now, I gotta ask, right? Because I mean, being an entrepreneur, that is a road less traveled. That's something that I've found out doing this very podcast here. But there was a point where, I mean, I guess in a bit of total disclosure, before COVID, not in between working shows, MMA and pro wrestling shows around Southern California and into San Diego, I was driving Uber, and there that was some of the best money, probably the best money that I've ever made in my life, right? And I remembered there was like this epiphany that I was just like, I'm not going to a 9 to 5 ever again. Like whatever, yeah, whatever I have to do to do whatever obviously it's going to be a harder road to sow than essentially going and like yourself, you're college educated, going to a job, you can probably land an office, deal somewhere, what have you, right? You have a particular skill set, but then you become so disenchanted with it and you yearn for freedom, and
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you get something that kind of pulls at you, in the manner, like, again, you were talking about anointing earlier, and something kind of like being gifted, from something that's divine to you. And like, what was your epiphany? Did you have like a job? Because especially right now, after the tumultuous year that we've had, many have had, in 2020, people are trying to figure out, like, what is the next step. The fact
Right.
that there's a job, they might have a job that might not be here tomorrow, they might eradicate your entire occupation, by the time you kind of get back to work and everything is so safe in terms of COVID, like, what have you, right? So, like, for people that are kind of trying to figure out what to do, right, and might have been in a similar situation that you were before you started SBS, like, was there a moment for you where you were just like, no, no, SBS Beauty Parlor is my calling, and I'm going to pursue that?
Oh yes. And so let me tell you how exactly SBS Beauty Parlor began, how we got started. So my mother, who is the most amazing woman in the world. If you are my friends, if anybody knows her, they know how special she really is. She's an amazing lady. And so all our lives we've been renting. And my mom's of the age to where she's like, I want a house, I want a house, I want a house. And I'm already working 2 jobs, corporate America. Um, and once I clock out, I'm like, there's still not enough money to be made to be able to get my mom a house. And so I'm just brainstorming and I'm thinking, like, because if my mom says that's what she wants, that's what she's gonna have, that's what she's gonna get, period. And so um I'm brainstorming, I'm coming up with ideas, like, 2 jobs is not enough after you clock out, what other money can you make? And so, like you said, everything that I've been before, is leading up to this moment. So I'm like, I am going to create SBS Beauty Parlor, you know? And so that's honestly the motivation behind it. I had to figure out another source of income to create in order to be able to get my mom a house that she so rightfully deserves. Um, because she took care, she takes care of all of us, you know? And so that's where it all started. That's where it began. And that's where my journey began. And I absolutely love this journey. And sometimes, you know, the hardest things are what pushes you to see your greatest potential. And that's what it was for me. And so having SBS Beauty Parlor, it also teaches my siblings how to create generational wealth. It teaches my community. I am the example on showing my community how to create generational wealth, you know. It's also showing, you know, it's giving opportunities to the community as well. So now that I actually have a parlor, you know, there are artists out there who can come and rent our parlors. So now you have an additional income as well, you know? And so again, it's just, you know, we also have affordable quality products as well. That's very important to make sure that our products are affordable. And so being able to give quality products, you know, from SBS Beauty Parlor, it's just an amazing journey. All from my mom pushing me, right? Not having enough income with a college degree, two jobs, you know. And the thing about it is that in our community we get our information late, you know. We're not educated right away to having a business. What are the tools in place that you need? What How do you get to at least even being in a business? So to everyone out there, do not be hard on yourself that you're just now starting. You know, we definitely are blooming a little bit later, but what matters is that you bloom. And so you want to be able to capitalize off of you being woke. And so that is the inspiration for SBS Beauty Parlor. And so we actually had a really good year in 2020. Um, all of our supporters, you know, are amazing, amazing. It's a beautiful journey. We've met so many beauty girls, not just in Inglewood, you know, on the East Coast as well, you know, New York, Texas, um, what other places, North Carolina. And so just being able, you know, a girl from Inglewood being able to do all of that is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm literally getting goosebumps. That's cool because not only are you getting to extend it and flourish your dream, and again that mission statement of having the means in which to provide your mom with a house and everything. These are seminal moments, and for the person in North Carolina that might have heard of Inglewood, or on the East Coast that might have heard of Inglewood and what have you, but never actually have a connection to it. Not only are you branching that relationship, right? But also you're changing the narrative. You're
Oh,
changing
yes.
what most people think of it, and when they essentially receive your product, well, it's from Inglewood, somebody that is proud to be from Inglewood. So in their mind, Inglewood equals quality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is what we want to display. And that is our mission, you know. And we're more than products. You know, we want, you know, our beauty girls in our community to feel absolutely special. And so even with our products, you know, um, we have our SBS Beauty strip collections. And so they're specifically tailored to inspire your day. So we have our collections in my bag, you know, which is motivating the go getter, you know, which is motivating someone trying to bag a job. And so our lashes are booked and busy, you know, and so when you apply that lash on, you know, before the day, We want our community and our girls to have that experience of, yes, I'm booked today, because positive affirmations are so important. And so we're definitely more than products. And so our collections definitely manifest that. And so that is exactly why we're so processed, because it's more than just selling products. We want you to experience that Inglewood love that I've experienced. We want you to experience that SBS Beauty Parlor, love that I experienced when I put on a lash. And so it's so important.
Absolutely. Now, before we move on, here's a point. Speaking of your wonderful mother, your lovely mother, if you went to Inglewood, I mean Highland Elementary, you know and love Miss Penny. So there you
Oh
go.
yes. Oh yes.
Now, you were talking about it's not just products, right? It's services that SBS Beauty Parlor provides. So, I mean, could you tell us about the services and products in which SBS sets the standard for?
Oh yeah. So SBS Beauty Parlor, we offer our parlor rentals. We also offer our our classic eyelash extensions. We specifically tailor in our SBS Beauty strip collections. Um, those are our top three as far as SBS Beauty Parlor. And we also have lip gloss. All of our products are vegan. When it comes to beauty, we do not play about our skin. So we have vegan products. And so we also do lash parties, a group of three or more women. And so it's so much fun. The ladies get together, or the community gets together, and we will come out to put a lash on every girl before the party starts. And it's an amazing experience. You should see the women. Before, we have some of the women who have never experienced a lash before, and when we get there and we put a lash on, oh my, you should see their confidence go up. And that's what our mission is to do. And it's a beautiful thing, to be able to give another beauty, confidence. And so we have lash parties, and we also do vending events. And so vending events, you want to be able to make sure that you book with us, because people are always at our table. People are always like, who is SBS Beauty Parlor? And it's such an amazing experience right then at the vending events. We also lash our beauties as well. And so at our last event, you should see this one beauty. She came with sunglasses on, and she's like, "Oh, you put lashes on right here?" Like, yes, we do. Put her lashes on. Let me tell you, them sunglasses were not on that whole entire time. So I mean, that's who we are. That's what we do. And she bought the collection in my bag. So she was feeling booked and busy. And so that's the experience that we have. So with our lash collections, we go from natural to more dramatic lashes. So there is a variety for all types of women. For women who do not wear lashes at all, it's okay. We have you covered. To the women and the community who wants dramatic lashes. So we're very diverse, so everyone fits in. And our strip collections is what most the community enjoys the most.
Now, I think it's amazing. First off, because you were talking about a metamorphosis that plays. When you we essentially you an artist, right? And your clients that come to you are blank canvas a lot of times, or they might even have their way of doing things that may or may not be correct, right? And I know as a male, right? Uh, going to the barbershop is such a like an authentic and visceral experience. My sister being a barber, you get to see transformations in people. Just again, you don't know the weight that one carries by not looking the way that they feel that they should look, like
Okay.
bringing the inside out essentially. And we need help. So to see that transformation happen right before your eyes, that's got to be gratifying, right?
Oh yes, that's why we are still here. That's what we are about. We're more than products. You're not just buying lashes. You're buying hope. You're buying, positive affirmations. You are purchasing, future success. We are absolutely more than products. When you purchase your product, you're purchasing me. When my clients do purchase product, they have access to me. And we talk about their day. We talk about motivating things to get us to the next level. And so again, you come one way and you leave another way. And that's the same for our eyelash extensions. When our beauties come to get that service, they leave feeling whole. They leave feeling complete. They leave feeling inspired. And again, it's beyond the lashing. It's an experience. It truly is an experience, and that is what we want each and every SBS beauty girl to experience. And they know that when you purchase a lash collection, you become a SBS beauty girl. And so when you wear our products, we advertise and we post you and we empower you on our page. Why do we do that? Because we want to be able to acknowledge your beauty. We want to acknowledge your power. It's a difference waking up in the morning and going about your day and to where you wake up on a day and you put your makeup on and you put your lashes on. Two totally different experiences. And so because we give them that lash experience, guess what? They're going to do more than put on those lashes. So guess what? Your day is a little bit brighter because of our lashes. Your day is a little bit more enjoyable because you put on a lash. And so that is the mission and the goal of SBS Beauty Parlor. And we want as many SBS Beauty girls and community as we can possibly have.
I mean, in the chat, I mean, look no further than my sister. And I'm gonna try and do this comment justice, but she goes, just know when I put on some SBS lashes, I didn't come to play, honey. I hope I got that right. I hope I got that right.
Yes. 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 That's what it's about.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, my sister is more of the charismatic one than I. We all have our strengths. So shout out to my sister.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of because you alluded to, right, and this is something that we saw in the chat with Mar Giananiloa. SBS Beauty Girls, and she said nailed it. Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah.
If she says I nailed it, okay, I've done my service. Right on. But with that all being said, you alluded to the community of SBS Beauty Girls, right? And that's the thing, especially in times of like uncertainty, whether you're unsure about yourself or unsure of the product or just unsure in general, right? It's hard to kind of take on something new, right? Or kind of step off into what your new beginning is going to be, raising to like a phoenix out of the ashes, right? From whatever your past was, right? So you and SBS Beauty Parlor has developed a community of SBS Beauty Girls. How important was that to the formation and the creation of the SBS Beauty Parlor brand?
Oh yes, it's very important, just as important as being from Inglewood. And so shout outs to the SBS Beauty Girls. Oh yes, and let me tell you something about our beauty girls. They are powerful, they are talented, they are fierce. Okay? We are strong, phenomenal women. Okay? And sometimes you don't even need no makeup. All you need is an SBS Beauty Parlor lash, and you can go on about your day simply because how the product is packaged. It's tailored, specifically tailored to our women and to our girls. And so I appreciate and we thank each and every single SBS Beauty Girl on the West Coast and on the East Coast. Okay, my Virginia SBS Beauty Girls, my New York SBS Beauty Girls, we love and appreciate each and every one of you. And our beauty girls, again, they don't play, they actually purchase their products, and that is amazing. There is no handouts, there is no, I have not received any, oh, can I get something for free? Our beauty girls, they understand, they see, and they know the intention and the quality behind it. And they purchase every single um, collection that they have. And so we love you guys and we appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. And we are here because of you. And so SBS Beauty Girls, it's extremely important because we live in a world where things are not positive. We live in a world where things are not healthy. And it's very, very important because we've experienced as women when a lot of group of women, sad to say, come together. It's only good for a short amount of time. But we want to change that narrative, just like we want to change the narrative of Inglewood, California. There, you can join forces with amazing women and be positive and be healthy and be supportive. And so that is what SBS Beauty Girls are. And that's what we do. And we are created of all different shades, all different colors, all different backgrounds, Hispanics, Latinos, you know, all different kind of ethnic backgrounds, and that is the beauty of SBS Beauty Girls. And I love you girls. I really do. I have beauty girls who come in and just drop off gifts just because I was thinking about you. I was thinking about SBS Beauty Parlor, and this is something that I want to give or contribute to the brand. Our beauty girls, they tip us. And that's just straight out of love. And so we definitely appreciate each and every beauty girl.
I absolutely love it. That's I'm gonna do that. That's pretty cool. There's a referee in MMA, Mario Yamasaki. He does this before every fight, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna Mario
Yes,
Yamasaki.
SBS Beauty Girls, they are the foundation for SBS Beauty Parlor. And we are so excited for 2021 to collaborate with more SBS Beauty Girls. Yeah.
That I think that's absolutely amazing. One thing that I guess that I wanted to know, right? Because I'm pretty glib in terms of all things beauty and maintenance and what one goes through to achieve that, right? So the vegan lashes versus what had come before that. I mean, um, I guess what is the difference, and then what led you to do vegan versus what would normally be traditional lashes?
So basically, the difference is just the vegan. They don't use animals, minks. So what they do is for mink is mink is more from the animal, and vegan is more from a specific strand, like the material for, like, for example, like the toothbrush material. So that would be
Yeah.
like vegan. And so it's a huge difference. And for me, when it comes to beauty and my skin, I just prefer natural vegan. I have sensitive skin, and so anything with like fur, real fur, even when I do wear fur, it's fox. It irritates my skin. And I just didn't feel comfortable, with the whole, you know, the way they have minks. And so I just chose vegan.
Whoa, wait. So again, you mean to tell me that like those like CoverGirl mascara, like the lashes and whatever, those had like parts of like mink, like the rodents and
Yeah,
foxes and stuff? Are
it
you serious?
strips our hair. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
But I mean, you have to do your research. You have to do your product. You have to know your product. You have to do your research. And so that is what sets us apart because we know what we have, and that makes it um, even more trusting on the community of beauty girls, is that we
that
know products.
I know, absolutely, absolutely. Man, that's so fascinating to me. I didn't know there was a difference, and I'm glad that you went the route of vegan lashes. That's amazing. Which I mean, you spoke so much about being growing up and being from Inglewood, having your business essentially be your home base is Englewood, right? So it has to be cool where you got recognized, you and your company got recognized to the benchmark of Englewood publications, Englewood Today. You were featured. I mean, I remember having a stutter going to school and whatever, and my mom would give me Englewood Today's to read out loud, and that's how I don't stutter anymore. So, I mean, for you to be featured in such a prestigious magazine for Englewood and the South Bay area of LA, that was huge. How was that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Shout outs to Kay Miller, who published the article for us. He personally delivered the article to us as well. It is located online. And so what happened was we were vending at the skate event. Shout out to the skate community, amazing community. And our booth was there, and he passes by and he sees all of this traffic going on at our booth. And so we're extremely busy with all of these beauty girls, right? And he's like, who are you guys? Like, who are you? Like, why is there so much traffic going on here? And so, because we were busy at the time, I gave him a card. He said he would give me a call, and he did. And then that's when we talked, and I explained to him who SBS Beauty Parlor is, and it went on from there. I have an amazing team. I could not be here without my SBS Beauty Girls or my SBS Beauty team. And so I give a really, really big shout outs to the team. Um, they help to set up, they sell, merchandise, and so it was a great experience, him seeing how much traffic and how well we do, and it's such an honor and a privilege, to be in the article from your hometown, and so that just adds onto the cake, to where, when people see us and when I talk about Inglewood, I have that behind me. So,
No, I think that's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, I gotta ask, SBS Beauty. As somebody that kind of wants to know the definitions of certain acronyms, I want to know, what does SBS Beauty or SBS, the acronym,
yes.
mean?
So the acronym is Slay Be Slay. Yes. 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 So anytime we finish with a client, anytime we finish with a beauty girl, it just naturally happened. Like, yes, slay, be slay. Like it was more of like, yes, I did that. And so that is where slay, be slay comes from.
Okay, so that's the okay. That's
Yes,
brilliant. I
that
think that's brilliant
yes.
because it's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a visceral reaction to
Oh
not only you as the artist, what you've done, but also what your client, in terms of that transformation from when they walk in to when they walk out. It's a completely different person.
yes.
I absolutely love it. Now, in terms of advice, because right now people are trying to figure out what is their next step, right? Their jobs may not be there. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air, right? Wherever you are, it's just crazy right now. But you, as an entrepreneur yourself, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs or investors, to kind of help them in their road and help find their path?
So the advice that I would give is it is okay to start something new. It is okay to start something new without all of the information. If you have an insight on or a vision on something that you want to create, who says that you cannot create that? And so I would just encourage them to trust themselves and to be scared and do it anyways. It's okay if you don't have all your ducks lined up in a row. Um, you will figure it out once you start, but the key is to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything begins with a step, right? A step in a particular direction. Sometimes you might falter a bit or whatever, but if you make that one step, and it sounds so easy to do, but it isn't, because with that step is the doubts and who said this about what, and you can't whatever, or the job that had the cushy benefits and everything, like it, like all of those come into play when you make that step. But once you do, it could be the most gratifying thing. And not to say that the sorrow of being a business owner and all of the situations that presents, but again, you're doing it for you versus essentially doing it for somebody else's dream, because every company, every service that anybody works for was essentially somebody's dream. That, I mean, they're like 3 or 4 generations removed, and now it's not even like the very thing that the originator wanted their company or their service to be.
Oh, yes. I mean, hey, everybody is a beginner at something, and that's what's so important. I think we as a people, we as a community, we're a little bit too hard on ourselves. And so there's a lot of things that we've never started. And that is a great thing about SBS Beauty Parlor. We want you to feel and be complete. We want you to be whole. And so we've collaborated with so many different amazing artists to bring that to the community, to inspire our entrepreneurs or people, our community and artists that are just now starting to understand, hey, it's okay to be a beginner at something. It's okay to start something new. My personal motto is be scared and do it anyways. There's a lot of things, honestly, with my journey in SBS Beauty Parlor that has definitely gotten me through. There was a lot of times where I second guessed myself. But I said, you know what? I'm going to be scared anyways and still do it. And so, again, with the collaborations that we have that support for entrepreneurs to feel whole and to feel supported.
Absolutely. I love it. That's incredible. And Don McGuire says never live in a box. That's a key to it, and diversity is the key to success.
Yeah.
That's Don McGuire of the Fighter's Voice of with Don McGuire, the podcast, and he just inked a pretty cool deal in the Philippines. So you will hear Don McGuire in the Philippines. So shout
Oh,
out to
nice.
absolutely. So shout out to Don McGuire. Now, in terms of looking into the crystal ball, right? We don't. Well, we're already in 2021, but let's say this time next year, January 10th, 2022. What would you have liked to have accomplished via SBS Beauty Parlor by this time next year?
So our goals for 2021 um are to collaborate with more amazing artists. So if you are interested, please make sure you contact SBS Beauty Parlor. We are diverse with collaborating with different artists, so massage therapists, fitness, mental health, makeup artists, just hair braiders. Just if you feel like you are a good fit for SBS Beauty Parlor, you definitely want to connect with us. And so collaborating, more podcasts and interviews. That's what we're looking forward for 2021, and
I
definitely building our SBS Beauty Girls. We have some. We're working on some things already. We have some things in place, and so 2021 is going to be an amazing and exciting year.
I think that's absolutely brilliant. But obviously, I my dad taught me, you know, to you don't know where you're going until you know where you came from, right? And so we can't go to 2022, January 10th, 2022, without recognizing, the year before, not just 2021, but also
Absolutely.
the previous year that we had, right? And in terms of collaborators, you had some pretty powerhouse collaborators, from all over, like all over the country, all over our state that have collaborated with SBS Beauty. So I think we should shout them out.
Oh yes, absolutely. So again, SBS Beauty Parlor, we want our beauty community. We want our community to feel whole. And so again, we are more than products. So we want you to feel whole. So we start with, working inner, and then we go outer. And so we have our mental health coach or life coach, Erica. And everyone who I mentioned, you can find on my page. So be sure to follow, so that way you guys can get all of these amazing artists. And so we start with our life coach, Erica. She's amazing. If you want to get your life to the next level, she is the one to contact. And then we have our health, because it's important to be healthy. We have our personal trainer for our SBS Beauty Girls and our brand. His name is Jerome. And he's so educated, he's so knowledgeable. I personally work out with him. And he's a nutritionist as well. So he's equipped with both. And he's amazing as well. And then we have our two very special makeup artists. I love them to death. They're both such great dolls. So we have our first one, BV, and she has amazing body artwork. I mean, that's my personal favorite. She's located in Anaheim. Our trainer is located in Delambo, Carson. Erica, she's on the East Coast, Ohio. We all travel, and so BB, she does amazing body art. That is what I love the most about her. And you can see all of the artists on our page. Her talent is so raw and amazing. I just am in love and amazed that every time she puts something out. And our second, my baby, our doll, Ashley. She's more of a freelance makeup artist, and we love her. She's so talented. The colors that she used to create is beyond amazing. And so we have a pretty great team. And if you're looking to collaborate with SBS Beauty Parlor, this is the place to do it. Go ahead and message me, on Instagram and Facebook. And so it's very, very important for us to collaborate because we all come together, and what we believe is that when we all come together, we get to our goals faster. If we all come together, we're able to bring our passion and our experiences to a broader um, networking or platform, and so more people are inspired, more people are exactly what we are here to do, uplift them, and so all of our artists, they're amazing, and we can't forget our fur babies. We cannot forget our fur babies, and so we have, Rochelle for our fur babies, so if you need someone to take care of your fur babies, she's certified, she's educated, she's been in the field for many, many years. And so if your baby is sick, or if you just need them to care or just to watch them, we have Rochelle. Again, all of our people are on our Instagram page, and you can find them there. And I want to give a big shout out to them and just to thank them for their amazing talents. And I know 2021 is going to be even better with collaborating. And again, so we have Erica on the mental, we have Jerome on the health, we have BB as a makeup artist, and we also have Ashley as a makeup artist. And you can find them all on our page at SBS Beauty Parlor.
I think that's an amazing collective to have. Which Don McGuire wants to know. Have you opened up your business to extend to the handicap community? Many don't reflect them in the aspect of beauty.
To Yes. Yes. So I'm actually outside of SBS Beauty Parlor, a special education behavioral therapist. So I am very, very huge in that community. Those are my babies. I love them. I've worked with all ages, elementary, middle school, high school, done it all. And so behind the scenes of SBS Beauty Parlor, we definitely um, involve that community because that community is very dear and special to me. And I've been working in that field for 11 years now. And so we do have events to where we, have fundraisers, and we have settings where the kids and the community, they do come out, and we do invest in them as well.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. And
Yeah,
again, for
that's on my personal side, So that'll go towards the personal questions. But that's a very great question because I've been in that field for 11 years, and I love what I do. And again, I said, before, I had two jobs, and those are the two jobs that I had in special education. And so I know just how important it is. And we are going to be in the works to doing more creative things for that community. So if you do have any ideas, we are so open to collaborating and moving forward in that area.
I think that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I can't commend enough what you have done already and what you continue to do for all of the communities that you service. Because again, that's one thing that I think a lot of people lost sight of. This past year was like we're a community. It doesn't matter how you came to be in this community, what you contribute to this community, but we're a part of the community, and everybody has something to contribute. You just have to kind of listen.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Absolutely. So last but very not least, where can people find out more info on about SBS Beauty Parlor?
So you all can find out more information on all social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at SBS Beauty Parlor. So that's all you need to type in, SBS Beauty Parlor, and we will pop up on Facebook and we will pop up on Instagram. You may also send an email to sbsbeautyparlor@gmail.com. Our phone number is 213-537-3088. And we are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our appointments are, the way that you can book is by appointment only. We are located in Inglewood, California on Arborvitae and Prairie. But again, it's by appointment only. So you will need to send a message to either our email address or to any of our inboxes on social media. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, that is absolutely imperative, especially right now with the COVID restriction being as they are. Everyone be safe. But again, go ahead and check them out. And Don McGuire, he says he might have some insight, so hit him up. So I'll connect the dots there.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Again,
There,
2021 is more collaborations, for anyone who feels, that they fit, or we also travel. So we have no problem with, coming to where you are. We actually love to travel. And so we have no problem with coming to where you are and collaborating and making stuff happen. So
excellent. Now, again, you got to check out SBS Beauty Parlor on all of their social medias. It's amazing, and Bernadette, it has been amazing to have you on. To kind of share your experiences. In terms of cultivating the brand that is SBS Beauty Parlor, and again, to be able to be an entrepreneur. In this day and age, that is amazing. And the fact that you're setting up shop right in your home base of Inglewood, California, man, that's incredible. That's incomparable.
thank you so much for having us. It is such a privilege and an honor to be interviewed by you. And so we are definitely grateful and we are appreciative. And this was so much fun. We definitely have to touch bases again.
No, 100%, 1,000%. And Don McGuire saying, as somebody who interviews himself, awesome interview and awesome guest. That's more Bernadette than me,
Thanks.
but thank you, good sir. It's incredible, and we thank you guys here at According to Woods for checking us out on your Sunday, Monday, wherever you may be viewing such a thing. But if you haven't already done so, we warmly encourage you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and yes, Twitch. According to Woods is on Twitch, so I'm just saying. So, but again, don't just take my word for it. Here's pro wrestler Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods.